right, here we go. Soon.
Views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JBC Broadcasting Management.
These are good. They're new, right?
CEO and founder of Diversified Financial Solutions. Now more than ever, investment advice is needed. Not just where best to invest your money, but why. Are you investing for your future retirement? Are you retired and looking to maximize your income? Are you maximizing your income and concerned with leaving money for your loved ones? Are you investing for your retirement at the same time saving for your children's education and at the same time
I know that guy.
are the markets in line with your goals? Are your goals ever changing? Please contact me at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691.
Stop yawning.
DiversifiedFinancial.biz. For over 25 years, I have been helping individuals, families, and business owners navigate through all market conditions with only one goal in mind, my clients. Visit me at DiversifiedFinancial.biz or call Denise Nostrom, founder of Diversified Financial Solutions at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691 for a conversation about my most important client, you.
Hello and good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well out there. Thank you for tuning in today. You are listening to the Financial Chick Show, and I am the Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located in Medford. I'm here live every Friday from 5:30 p.m. on 103.9 LI News Radio. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you want to know more about me or my firm, you can check out my website at financialchickshow.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at Diversified Financial Solutions. So like our pages to get updates and see what is happening. Well, the airport is moving and shaking today. We had a lot of activity. Must have had a plane just come in, and people are traveling. A lot of stuff happening. So that's a good thing. The one thing that's not so good is that I've been talking about the fact that everybody has been sick lately. Well, it hit the office again. Now our special projects coordinator, Brian, was taken down this past week. He had COVID. He tested positive for COVID. So he said it was bad first couple of days, and later in the week he was feeling better. So we're hoping he gets back next week and feeling good, and we can all stay healthy and happy and content, because man, it's been quite the year so far. And everybody you talk to is down with something or having this lingering thing. I think I talked about it last week. I'm feeling pretty good today, but yesterday I had a conference call with a client, and I just lost my voice, and then it came back. So I don't know. Something weird is going on in the world, I guess, or in our area. Well, we know the world. I'll get to that in a second. But this week, was rainy and damp, and it was very interesting because my assistant came in on Monday, and he said, "Man, I looked at the weather forecast, supposed to be sunny all week, because we thrive in the sun, right? But unfortunately, rainy, damp, and bone chilling. That's what it was all week. So apparently, they predicted very wrong and had no idea what was going on. And then overall, this is just a dreary time of the year. So you just want to like feel good. And the sun, well, it might be cold, but at least if the sun is out, then you feel a little bit better. So, but I do hear that we're going to get some sun this weekend, so I'm going to believe it when I see it. So we shall see. And today is Groundhog Day, for those of you that don't know. Groundhog Day is a tradition observed in the United States and Canada on February 2nd every year. It is derived from the Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its burrow on this day and sees its shadow, it will retreat to its den, and winter will go on for 6 more weeks. If it does not see its shadow, spring will arrive early. And that's basically what happened. From what I understand, and I've been working hard all day, but I understand that there's when early spring was predicted. So spring is 46 days away from now, but maybe it could come a little bit earlier. I just find it very interesting, though. I guess it goes back to the sun story that I was just talking about. Wouldn't he not see his shadow if there's no sun? Like, you need to have sun, right? So, like, I don't know. This we know it's not super scientific. I mean, it's a fun thing. It's it's again a superstition, but I don't know. I'm just hoping that he was right and we have an early spring. So that's all I had about that. On other news, this story is just in. I heard about it right before I came to the show tonight. Actually, I've had to run around and do some errands, but I heard it while I was driving around. That we had a retaliatory U.S. airstrikes against Iran back targets in Iraq and Syria, just literally like an hour ago. This comes the same day that the 3 soldiers that lost their lives overseas were returned to the U.S. today. So just as a point of information, there have been over 140 attacks on our military since October 7th in the Middle East. Most recently was the one that killed those 3 service members and injured dozens more. From what we understand, Biden does not frequently meet with his cabinet or have staff meetings. Like, that's something that is part of this administration. That's not something that happens. And this would probably explain, if you hadn't heard earlier in the month, or actually last month, we're in February already, this would probably explain why no one knew why the Secretary of Defense was missing earlier this month. So Biden actually was on the record saying that he didn't know, and the guy was not at his desk, not in the office, not at work. That's not so good. We found out that he had some issues with prostate or whatever the case may be, but as the President of the United States, you really should know where your cabinet is. I mean, so there's several problems with that. One, obviously there's no communication, which is not a good thing. Number 2, respect. I mean, I couldn't imagine, I know what would happen, but if one of my employees just didn't call, or didn't show up for a couple of days, what would you do? That's, it's a respect thing. People, the protocol is, I'm out sick, unfortunately I had a death in my family. You communicate and you talk to your superior, especially in this case, the president. And then even moreover, back up for someone to do the job. I mean, Secretary of Defense is a pretty big deal, and you wonder who is manning the position and all these things that are happening now. I mean, literally the world is on fire at this point. We had the war in Ukraine, which has been going on for 707 days. We keep funding, those monies there. We've got Israel and Palestine, and then we have in the Red Sea, our ships, well, not even our ships, but any ship is being attacked. And there's just a lot of stuff going on. And it all goes down to, and I say this loosely, leadership. There is none. And whatever we have is weak. I mean, then the next thing I'll talk about is a migrant situation. So, on a federal or the federal level, there's weakness, and the world sees it, and they're all doing things. There was even a report about a week or so ago that North Korea was firing some missiles and stuff like that. So there is just a lot going on, and then not to mention right here at home in New York City, the terrible events that happened against the NYPD. If you've not heard the story, a group of illegal immigrants attacked police officers. 4 of them were picked up, arrested, and then subsequently let go. So now, apparently, they're headed to California, and it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, again, leadership here in New York, one party, talked about, one party backs the blue, one is like, that we want to eradicate the police department, and that's been the word over the past several years. And unfortunately now, we're seeing what that actually entails, and it's not good stuff. So, and then not to mention in New York, Hochul's asking for $2.4 billion for migrants in the budget this year after getting $1.9 billion in 2023. And then it makes you say, well, we pay taxes. We pay a lot of taxes here in New York, Long Island. It's ridiculous. And where is this money going? Are we helping our people? Now, I don't think anybody wants anybody to suffer or have a bad situation, but you got to have priorities, and you've got to have a country, and you got to take care of your own. I mean, that's the first thing. Being in the airport, what's the one thing that they say when you get on a plane? That when the oxygen falls, if you're traveling with somebody older or a child, if you're the strong party, you put the oxygen on you first so you can help others. Listen, if the United States is not strong, New York's not strong, we've got people coming in here that we don't even know where they're coming from. And it's a really, really frightening thing. And I know I'm going off on a tangent, so I try to keep the show positive, but it's just unbelievable. Then you got the story coming out of California. I don't know if you heard this one. Newsom, apparently he was in Target with his young child, and a person was like running past the registers and dropped a few things. And then they, the child said, they dropped something. So they were going to help, and then the person picks it up and then runs out. And then Governor Newsom said, he didn't pay for that. Why? He's running out. So the person at the register said, well, our governor, now I don't know if she didn't know him or she was trying to really rib him, but she said, our governor, he does not, in the laws, he just says that people can take up to $1,000 and there's no, there's nothing they can do. So basically there's no laws, you can do what you want. And he actually came on TV and told the story and made himself look foolish that, you have you put together these rules and regulations, which are not really smart rules and regulations. Anybody up to 1,000, we can't put you in jail or give you any penalty. And then it happens right in front of your face and you make a joke of it. I just sometimes feel like I'm going to live in a parallel universe. I don't even know what the heck's going on. So we will get to some financial stuff, but I'm really hot under the collar today. It's been quite the year so far, and all I can say is we're really going to need to vote with our heads and not our hearts in November. So do your research. It's that important. You're listening to the Financial Chick Show. This is Denise Nostrom. The company's Diversified Financial Solutions. I help you look for solutions when you feel like there are none. Feel free to contact me at 631-758-8691. We're going to go into commercial breaks in a few, but when we come back, yes, I'm going to pivot, and we're going to go to some tax planning, checklists and stuff like that. Get you ready. Of course, it's tax season too, to add insult to injury. Stay tuned. Yeah. No, I'm just aggravated.
I lost track of time. I looked over and I was like, shit, 30
You were very
seconds.
intrigued with my show.
Yeah.
All right, did you hear the Newsom story? Did you?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
That
Oh
was
my
what
God.
really got me hooked.
Oh my God.
That's
So his young child goes, Dad, like the person's stealing. And he goes, yeah. So he went to, I didn't say this, but went to the person register. So is somebody going to do something about it? Is somebody going to, and she's like, no, our governor says that we can't do anything
You
about
see,
it.
the funny thing is, she mentions the governor. She didn't say our manager. She doesn't say our police. She
True.
says the governor of all things.
But that's the thing, because even like in the city, why do you think the managers, the employees, nobody's like doing anything to stop people that are stealing stuff, because they get in trouble. Because they're like, that's just the way it is. Let them do what they got to do.
1 minute, by the way.
You
but,
got it.
But I've worked in retail and food and everything. I've witnessed people steal stuff before.
Right.
And firsthand, and I never in my head, at least this, I guess it's because I was never political before like 2020, but I always thought to myself, like, the governor would be the last person that would come to my head, and especially if,
So she
external
probably knew it
policy.
was him. She made like she didn't. She probably knew it was him
Probably.
and said, here you go. Like it's your fault kind of
You
thing.
probably get 30 seconds,
Yeah,
but
you got it.
yeah,
Um,
I never would expect someone to say the governor right away, not the store owner, nothing.
But like, why do we even have security in the stores? Because they can't do anything. They have no authority anymore.
I want to go to California now, for no reason.
Stop it.
We have 10 seconds.
I can't. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the Financial Chick. My company is in Medford, and you can reach me at 631-758-8691 or visit my website at financialchickshow.com. I'm here to help you on your financial journey. Over the years, things change, and I'm here to help you navigate all those changes. So if you were here before the break, I was a little bit on a rant about all the things that are going on. The wars and just there's just so much going on. The illegals and NYPD and I don't know. It just seems like the world's on fire right now, and we definitely need some leadership and people that the right from wrong and wrong from right. I just don't think we know what the difference is at this point, and it's really become apparent. And how does this segue to financial? Well, we all work really hard out there, don't we? Each one of us works very hard. We pay our taxes, and you say, well, what's going on? Where are the taxes going? Like I mentioned before. 2.4 million is the number that they're looking to help the migrants in New York City, or New York State, I guess, really the whole state. We have children that go to school hungry. We have homeless people. We have all of these things that are going on, and it just the numbers don't add up. and something's got to give, and I don't know what's going to give, but hopefully something at some point. But anyway, so I'm going to try, like I say, try to keep it positive. I'm just a little hot under the collar today, and there's just way too much. And I guess, you know, in speaking, I talked to several clients today, and everybody's aggravated, you know, and I'm going to say it, pissed off. Everybody's very, very mad, you know, like, and so you have these conversations all day. And, you know, I'm a kind of person, I want to help and try to, like, rectify things. There's just so much that's so out of our control. But there is an election in November, so, you know, we do have some type of control, I hope. Anyway, so let's segue. So it is tax time. So, you know, the tax information is coming to your door. They had, most of the companies had up until Wednesday to send it out, the 30th, 31st, whatever. And so you've probably got most of your stuff. If you're dealing with brokerage companies, they do have a longer time frame, so you might not see those till the middle of February. So if you're dealing with a Schwab or Raymond James or Pershing or what else? Who else do we got? Fidelity. You want to wait to do your tax return. You know, you don't want to go there and jump, and, you know, because I know we all want to get it done and get it done early, but just make sure you have all your documents. It's always a good idea, if your accountant sends you a checklist, really adhere to that checklist, and just go through all the stuff that you have. And if you're a client of mine, and we've talked about it, you know, if you need help or whatever, we can help you do that. One thing we don't do in the office, which I think is a miscommunication, we do not produce tax forms in our office. We are not part of the Bernie Madoff Corporation, where, if you remember him, he did everything internally, apparently invested the money. Well, he didn't, but he did his own statements, he did his own tax. We do not do the tax forms within the office, so we cannot send you tax forms because we don't have them. If you're in a jam and you really need something, we can certainly work through with the company. But if you're missing something from Fidelity or from Franklin Templeton or one of your annuities in Nationwide or something like that, they're the ones that are going to be sending that tax form to you. So that's just a piece of information. Like I said, if you're in a jam, we can help you, but we have people calling the office asking to send them all their tax forms. We don't do that. It would be absolutely cumbersome to do that, especially since they are mailed to you. And if you're not getting in the mail, you might have done paperless. So check your emails to get that documentation. So, you know, you obviously need certain information. I know a lot of people are having their accountants tell them they're not going to work with them anymore. So a lot of people are transitioning and moving to new accountants or CPAs. What you want to do is you want to make sure you bring your federal and state tax, if applicable, to the new accountant. It's always a good idea to bring it with you anyway, just to make sure that continuity. You know, accountants are supposed to check and make sure that, you know, whatever you had last year you still have, or if you added on new things, they ask you about that. So it's a good idea to bring that information with you. Have your Social Security or tax ID numbers if you own a corporation available for yourself and your children. A PIN number, if you've had an identity protection issue and the IRS gave you a PIN number, make sure you bring that as well. You know, some people have had some hiccups there. They weren't able to get their taxes prepared because they needed that information. And if you're opting, which most of us do, get refunds through your bank account, make sure you have all that bank account information that you want to put that money into. So what are we looking for? We're looking for our W-2s. Obviously, the W-2s are, you know, the stuff you get from your companies and, you know, from your employer. If you happen to be self-employed, you know, you're looking for those 1099 forms, but the 1099 forms can come in many different derivations. So it depends on what type of payment that you received. You know, if you get a 1099 NEC, it's for contracting work that you may do. A 1099 miscellaneous summarizes income earned through winnings or royalties or rental properties. 1099K, if you're paid $20,000 or more for goods or services via a third party like PayPal or Venmo. And then, of course, investment earnings are going to come on that 1099 INT for interest or 1099 DIV for dividends, and 1099B for broker handled transactions. So that means if you sold any stocks, bought any stocks, you know, that type of thing. You want to provide all of that information to the accountant, and you know, that's what's going to, how he or she's going to, you know, prepare the tax return. So the next thing you want to look at is deductions. Deductions help reduce your taxable income, which generally means a lower tax bill. So we like those. Those are good. The key to claiming, of course, deductions is documentation. You really have to make sure you have that. You don't want to get audited and put something on there that you can't back up. So make sure you do that. Now this doesn't mean like things if you're itemizing, you know, the itemized can go right on the 1040, but even things that if you're not a person that itemizes, there are certain deductions that you can actually still take. So if you're a student, educational expenses, you can claim a deduction for tuition and fees that you pay, as well as for interest paid on student loans. You know, but you're going to need a form. There's a form 1098T that will show those education transactions and details on your student loans. So make sure if you don't have them, contact your provider to get those. Medical costs, keep track of all your medical costs. Again, a lot of people aren't eligible for this, but if you do have costs that total more than 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, you can actually take that off your taxes. So if you've had, unfortunately, a tough year medically with you know, co-pays or surgeries that you had to pay a lot of out of pocket, or dental, pull that all together. That could be something. You don't want to lose any deductions that are out there. Property taxes and mortgage interest. You know, you'll get your 1098 form from the lender to deduct that interest. One misnomer, I get this question a lot of times with clients. Yes, we have a limit on our real estate taxes up to $10,000 here in New York, but interest on your mortgage, there's no cap. So, you know, if you have a home or a second home, all that interest can be deducted off of your tax return. Charitable deductions, you know, if you're charitably inclined, make sure you have those receipts from charitable donations. Even if you donate clothes, make sure you get a receipt for that. That's something you can take off your taxes, and your accountant can kind of give you a fair market value on those donations that you have. So, but the key there is, you know, make sure you have people try to really beef up that number. But if you ever get audited, you've got to make sure you have information to back up all those things. So, classroom expenses. We do this for all our teachers. We send out a letter just to remind them they can deduct up to $300 spent on classroom supplies, and if 2 teachers in the family, both of you can do up to $600. State and local taxes, like we talked about, you only have up to $10,000. But you know, there is just make sure you have all of your information, and any type of you know, anything through your W-2 is paid through there, but any estimated taxes that you pay, make sure you provide that to your accountant as well. If they've done, again, this is more so if you have a new accountant, your prior accountant obviously knows because they set you up on your estimated taxes, but if it's a new person, just let them know all the information that you have. Credits, we'll do, the last thing is credits. This is a deduction which is more valuable than the deductions, because this is a dollar for dollar. So we have an American Opportunity and Lifetime Learning Credit. This is education-related credits that you can save quite a bit of money. Again, on tuition, fees, it's 1098T. Again, you need that form. Child tax credit. The child tax credit is worth up to $2,000 per child for tax year 2023. If you added to your family through adoption, you might also be eligible for additional tax credits. This is a big one, and most people I don't think realize. A retirement savings contribution credit, also known as the Savers Credit. Contributions to a 401k, similar employer-sponsored plan, or an IRA may allow you to claim this credit. Now, this is in addition to, you know, just the deduction that you have, that pre-tax deduction. But if you earn a certain amount or a certain income level, ask your accountant if you can get this Savers Credit or retirement savings credit, because if you're not making a sizable income, you get an actual more money, so you're getting a bigger benefit for putting money away for yourself for your future. So very huge benefit. Listen, like I said before, we work hard, you know, to earn the money. Make sure you're getting everything that's due to you. Ask the questions, have the material. If you're not sure, find out. You know, give our office a call if there's something. But go to a good accountant that knows what they're doing, and make sure you're getting the money back that you deserve. And it's a good time to take a look at what your withholdings are this year, what you're putting away in your 401k, IRAs. And remember, you can do IRA and Roth IRA contributions up till April 15th. So max out on those, or if you don't have a deduction at work, you can do an IRA to reduce your taxable liability. So there's a lot to know. Thanks for tuning in today. Remember to do better and be better. Take care for now, and I look forward to being with you again next Friday. right. Well, yes, I kind of went a little bit crazy, but it was just hearing about us attacking, places in the Middle East, which, I mean, again, retaliatory, I get it. I think it's a good thing, but it's just the world's on fire and there's so much going on, and it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of leadership, and it's a mess, and everybody you talk to is unhappy, and just hope that we can get through this year unscathed. But we can do this together. So have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Friday.